Hello and welcome back to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel for another match preview. My name's Louis Ben and I'll be taking you through this exciting EFL Championship encounter between West Bromwich Albion and Fulham that kicks off at 12:30 on Saturday at Craven Cottage. We'll be going through all of the in-depth analysis and detail of Fulham and what we can expect from them, a play style, and also how they're getting on this season with results and their position in the league. We'll also be taking a look at some predicted lineups for both sides, for both Fulham and West Bromwich Albion, and we'll also be giving you a little bit of a prediction at the end. But I'd love you to get involved with this video as well. I'd love you to drop your predictions in the comment section below. I'd also love it if you'd be able to subscribe to the Baggies Podcast YouTube channel. We've made over 50 videos since the beginning of Valerian Ismail's tenure, so make sure that you drop us a little subscription if you're feeling generous and you fancy just dropping in every so often and watching a few videos. It's completely free. Just click subscribe on your YouTube platform. It's just below this video, so make sure you go and hit that. We're heading for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. But yeah, let's crack on straight into this match preview for the game between West Bromwich Albion and Fulham. So let's crack straight on with this match preview, talking of course again about the game between West Bromwich Albion and Fulham. Let's kick off with a little bit of talk about the opposition. Obviously, Fulham playing their football at Craven Cottage this season under new manager Marco Silva, who has come in and done, let's say, an exceptional job so far in the EFL Championship. Currently sat second in the division, one place above West Bromwich Albion and one place below AFC Bournemouth, who sit top currently. They've gathered 29 points, winning 9 of their games, drawing 2, and of course losing 3 games, which is just one more than Albion. But they've also won one more and drawn 2 less. So it kind of balances itself out. They're just 1 point above us at the moment. So obviously doing a little bit better than us, simply put, in the table, of course. But they've got some very good players in their side, and we'll be investigating just exactly what we think they're going to go for in terms of lineup for this particular game. So in terms of a lineup that we might see, we'll talk about that later on, but a player that we might see in quite a bit of detail is Alexander Mitrovic, who is the Championship's top scorer at the moment with 15 goals. I mean, that's fantastic. You know, considering the amount of goals that Fulham themselves have scored, he's scored 45% of their side's goals, which is quite interesting to see that so far this season. You know, that's nearly 50% of Fulham's goals have come through Alexander Mitrovic. He's such a vital part of their team, such a great finisher, and a Championship cheat code, if I will, because he scored goals for Newcastle, he scored goals for Fulham. You know, he's a fantastic player, and of course he's going to try and terrorise us yet again in the Championship this season. We're looking forward to seeing what he can bring and whether added events can keep him under wrap. But in terms of Fulham's fixtures and their form recently, so they beat their last opponents, Nottingham Forest, 4-0. Then they beat Cardiff 2-0 the game before, 4-1 against QPR the game before that. They lost 4-1 to Coventry, another in-form side in the Championship, 3-1 win against Swansea, and then a draw against Bristol City, who we of course beat last time out, which is obviously very interesting. This is probably their first, game against a side that are in the top 6 that are currently in the top sort of 4 this season, apart from perhaps Coventry City. It's the first game against somebody like Bournemouth or ourselves this season. Obviously, yet to play Bournemouth. It's going to be a very interesting game, and obviously also haven't played. Looking forward to this one. Really, it's going to be a very big game in the Championship. You know, second versus third. There certainly will be some eyes cast upon this game for this particular fixture. But yeah, let's chat about Fulham's sort of style of play and what we can expect from them. Obviously, they've done really well with the goals coming through Alexander Mitrovic. You know, assists being provided by Harry Wilson. Obviously, a play that we were looking at. Bobby Decordova-Reid as well, providing some assists as well, along with Nezquez Cabano and Jean-Michel Seri, who obviously we know well from his Premier League days, really, with Fulham. But, you know, possession-based side, 57.4% possession this season so far. One of the highest values in the league, currently 5th with that. Goals scored, highest in the league, 33 goals scored. I mean, that's at least 8 more than any other side in the Championship, which is very, very interesting. So, yeah, Fulham doing really well in terms of goal scoring. To QPR a second alongside us with 25. So, yeah, Fulham definitely managing to bang in those goals, and I can no doubt assure you that is something down to the fantastic Alexander Mitrovic, who's been playing some fantastic football for them so far this season. Obviously scoring the goals, getting the shots away, 16.7 shots per game, which is, and guess who has the second amount of shots per game? That is West Bromwich Albion with 15.6. So they're just beating us on that one as well. In terms of their possession, of course, as I mentioned, they're 5th in the league, so they're doing really well on the ball. Aerials won. They're actually one of the lowest. They're second lowest in the league. Swansea City with 13.3 aerials won per game at bottom, but then Fulham in second bottom in 23rd position with 15.2 aerials won per game. So that's quite interesting as well, I think. Yeah, Fulham, we're expecting a lot of chance creation. You think about the way that they've trounced some of the sides this season and just really put lots of sides to the sword in what is, I'm going to say, quite a poor standard of Championship football this season. 5-1 against Huddersfield, only in their second game of the season. Another 4-1 win against Birmingham, 3-1 against Swansea, 4-1 against Coventry, 4-1 against Queen's Park Rangers, 4-0 against Nottingham Forest. There's lots of results in there that just went, their way and quite favourably. So we're expecting this really serious attacking threat from Fulham, and it's going to be very interesting to see how we can cope with this and how we can sort of overcome this. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this one goes, and it's going to certainly be intriguing to see how we kind of get through these different challenges of playing these big opponents, especially in the Championship. Bournemouth, we played them at start of season, drew 2-2, but obviously Fulham are just a complete different kettle of fish. Scott Parker has got Bournemouth very well organised. But Fulham, they're a bit more sort of, the shackles are let off a little bit more with them. They're allowed to express a bit more freely and get forward more. So it's certainly going to be interesting to see how our defence holds up against this Fulham side, who, of course, we're very, very much looking forward to facing this Saturday. So, yeah, in terms of their formation and their lineup, obviously I haven't gone into detail about the injuries and haven't really looked into detail about the injuries. So this is if 100% fit. This is who I think that Marco Silva will line up for. You'll see the graphic come up on your screen just about now. So I'm going to go for Paulo Gazzaniga in goal, who's obviously a very good goalkeeper, played for Tottenham quite significantly, played for Southampton, also played for Spanish side Elche last season as well, rotating kind of with their first choice goalkeeper. Dennis Odoi, a player that we've seen in the Premier League alongside Tim Ream in sort of that right side of the right side of the back line. Dennis Odoi playing right back, Tim Ream at centre back, then alongside Tosin Adarabioyo, former West Bromwich Albion player. Obviously, it was on loan with us during the 18-19 season, where we had a mixture of Darren Moore, Jimmy Shan as manager. Then Anthony Robinson, who's going to play left back, a player that we were looking at following his exit from Wigan Athletic. Then in the centre midfield positions, I've gone for Josh Onoma and Jean-Michel Seri. Then Harry Wilson on the right wing, and then Nezkin Gabano on the left wing. Fabio Carvalho in the centre attacking midfield position, and then of course Alexander Mitrovic up front. So, some very good players in there. Harry Wilson, a player that I look for at set pieces. He's clinical and quality from those areas. Alexander Mitrovic, of course, scoring the goals for Fulham. It's going to be so interesting to see how the Baggies sort of keep them out, and how we can kind of contrast those different styles of play that we're facing against with Fulham. Not particularly physical, but wanting to just create constant chances. And obviously they've got that goal scorer in Alexander Mitrovic. That's why they're scoring so much this season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this and looking forward to seeing how we can sort of keep them at bay. But yeah, in terms of an Albion lineup that we'll go for, I'm going to say in goal we'll go for Sam Johnston, and then a three at the back with of course Matt Clark, Carl Bartley and Shemi Ajayi, then Darnell Furlong and Connor Townsend on the wing back positions, if you like. Then in centre midfield, I know Jake Livermore's going to be back, but I'd quite like to keep the midfield pairing the same as it was against Bristol. If you want to check out that podcast, giving a little bit of a match reaction to that and the Swansea City game, there'll be links in the description to check out our content playlist where you can watch my thoughts on all of the games so far in the EFL Championship. I would probably say to go for I'd go for Snodgrass and Molumby again. I would keep it exactly the same, to be quite honest. I thought they did a really good job last time out, and I certainly wouldn't be in a hurry to change them. So yeah, I'm going to go for Snodgrass and Molumby. Then as a front three, I'm going to go for Karlan Grant. I'm also going to go for Jordan Hugill, and I'd quite like to see Callum Robinson back in the side, and I'd like to see him on the wing, because I do think he's effective from that area. I know Hugill scored, and he did miss a load of chances, but I'm certainly keeping him in the lineup for this particular game against Fulham. I think his physicality could be key coming up against a side that obviously aren't very physical and not very physical in the air at all. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how this one is going to shape up. And in terms of how I think it's going to shape up, I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw between these two sides. I think it's going to be a really interesting game. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one shapes out. I'm quite nervous because it's obviously a very big game between these two sides, and one that both sides are going to really want to win. And in order to put themselves in a better position going through the season, obviously you can't really judge the season until you play these bigger teams that you think are going to be near the top of the table. So predictions 2-2 I'm going to go for. Please let me know yours down in the comment section below. Give us a like if you've enjoyed the video. But that does bring me to the end of this match preview. Looking forward to seeing this game between High Flyers, West Bromwich Albion and Fulham at Craven Cottage. It's 12:30 on Saturday. Make sure you give it a nice little watch, and make sure you're following us on our social media platforms for coverage of the games. And also make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at the Baggies Podcast. You're on the channel now. Just scroll down and click subscribe if you've enjoyed and want to see some more content from me. But that does bring me to the end of this video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.